Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I have the first page of this new sketchbook to show you guys. So just kind of like a little bit of a disclaimer. The first page isn't actually like the first page I've started on when I first worked in the sketchbook. Page 1 of the sketchbook I started about, I believe, on the 20th, so October 20th, around that time, October 22nd maybe. And then yeah, so I left the first page and the back of the first page blank. I actually have it with me right now, and I've worked in this sketchbook quite a bit, maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 pages in before I actually started to do the illustration on the front of the sketchbook. So if you guys watched my sketchbook tour, you would have saw like a sneak preview of this particular illustration. So the illustration is Mayoshi Masaki, as usual. I decided to draw him and have a kind of like, how do I explain it? Him holding falling petals and flowers, and in the background I have like blue and purple flowers with yellow little centers or whatever in the middle of it. I thought this would look really cute. I was testing a bunch of things in the sketchbook because I've been merging 2 of my favorite doodling supplies, I guess, together. One doodling supplies you guys would probably know very well, which is the Crayola Super Tips. A lot of you guys enjoyed when I use Crayola Super Tips to do like a lot of my doodling. So like in a few of my recent sketchbook doodle pages, you guys would have saw that. I did one with strictly pretty much only the Crayola Super Tips, aside from using the Color Eno mechanical pencil. And then the other method is pretty much the same thing, except for instead of using the Crayola Super Tips for the line art, I used the, I think, Vision Needlepoint pen, or I definitely used the Vision Needlepoint pen from Uniball. Like, you know, you've probably seen the video before. It's the one with the orange doodles of like Josh, Dogyum, and June, I believe. So I've been doing that a lot in this sketchbook. But when I mean I'm combining my 2 favorite doodling mediums, you probably see it right now. I'm using the Crayola Super Tips for some of the darker areas, which I want it to be a little bit more flat. Now this paper and water-based markers in general, if you're not using it on like, I guess like watercolor paper, it'll be really streaky. If you use it on watercolor paper, it's not as streaky. Like, you have a little bit of time to like blend out the edges ever so slightly. But on these kind of like normal paper or like mixed media paper, you will get streaks. But I feel like if you're doing it in small areas and you're doing pencil crayon top, like it doesn't really show that much. And I decided to do that for Masaki's hair because Masaki's hair is a kind of a warm dark brown color, but I don't like doing brown hair with pencil crayons. I think it's because the way I layer, or at least I haven't found a method of layering that I enjoy to use brown in such a way. I like doing purples, I like doing oranges, I like doing blues. Yeah, mostly those colors. I love doing skin and pencil crayon. I always find it fun. But yeah, so in the background as well, I'm going to be using Crayola Super Tips to do most of the blocking of the color, and then I'm gonna take a dark ultramarine or a blue violet, I believe, and use that as the line art and adding a little bit of detail for the background. And so for the majority of this illustration, I am using pencil crayons, and the pencil crayons I am using, which you guys should have saw on the banner above, but if you didn't see it, I'm using the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. Yeah, they're kind of my favorite to use, only because they layer really nicely. The color payoff I really like. I know a lot of people feel like there's a lot of like waxiness to it, or like the color blooms a bit. if you blend too hard or like press too hard. I usually use it in a lighter way unless I'm doing like, I guess, more closer to realism. Sometimes I do get up to that point where it does build up to that wax bloom. But for this illustration, I'm for the most part doing it pretty light, layering the colors up. I don't think there's really any areas where it's super dark because I try to minimize that by using the markers as the base so that it's not white, so I don't have to worry about having like white little dots being present in the darker areas. So I really like how the shirt came out, his like sweater turtleneck shirt. I really like the teal with the kind of the violet blue ultramarine color I used. But the thing I don't like about this illustration, and you might have noticed if you looked at the thumbnail compared to how he looks like in this video, is that the nose is a little bit different. I'm actually gonna take a quick look right now. I didn't like how I added the, I guess it's the left side of his nose being white. I always struggle with this because in my doodles, it looks fine, it being white, but when I color stuff in, I feel like it has to be dark, and I didn't do it for here, and he looks very spaced out. Like his eyes were already weird, and the mouth was placed not in a good spot. In my reattempt of fixing it, I did it off screen because it was after I put in like the footage into my computer, and I was looking at the footage and I'm like, oh geez, like he looks really weird. And I think the reason why I didn't notice it is because I was trying to get the video done, so I was just working on the illustration. I'm like, oh, like Masaki looks like fairly cute, and I just really wanted to do the background because that's the main reason why I wanted to do this illustration in the first place, because I was testing out doing what I'm doing right now, so doing pencil crayon line work or like line art, I guess, and then doing marker on top and then going back with the pencil to add detail. And I really liked how that looked, so I wanted to incorporate it into an illustration, which is what I have here for Masaki. Now, the doodle I have at Masaki in my sketchbook, I'm just gonna take a quick look, looks a lot cuter, and I'm pretty sure it's because first the eyes look a little less spacey. I'm not sure why I added the ring around his, like that white part in the center of his eyes. I didn't do it for my doodle, and I think it looks a little bit cuter. And his eyes are a bit big, I guess, or far apart compared to, or not even, I think okay, I think it's because the nose is a little bit lower than what I wanted, and that one part where it's white makes it look weird, and because of that his mouth is also lower and very V-shaped. I should have widened the mouth a little bit to be a little bit flatter and push the nose up. I attempted to fix it, so maybe I'll insert a picture of what it looks like now compared to what it looks like here in the video. Maybe I'll put it up. At some point I'll put it up. If not, you can take a look at the thumbnail of the video, and that's what he looks like currently, because hopefully I will update that photo for you guys. So I believe we're nearing the end, and I do apologize that the lighting in the video was very shoddy, I guess. I did record it in the day, and I'm using the window as my light source, so a lot of the time the light kept changing according to whatever the light was being shone through my window. So sometimes very cool and sometimes very warm. But yeah, I believe this is the end of the video. I'll talk to you guys next week, hopefully for another video, or whenever this is uploaded. So there might be a video tomorrow if that's Saturday for you guys. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!